Sleep on silk, lie like a politician. My Uzi's my best friend, cold as a mortician. Oh man, my head gets to relax on this pillow. You don't understand. I'm seconds for takeoff. Going into the dream world. But let's get this addressed on Crack News. Quick, fast, in a hurry. What's up, Nicole B? Now, before I drift off in the dream world, let me tell y'all something. It is not always the man's fault. Okay? Let's be clear. Not always the man's fault, ladies. I know beautiful marriages that have run into runts at different points of the relationship. I've seen a relationship go sour like after about 7, 8 years. And after the 7, 8 years, um, when I wake up, I'll be addressing Charleston White, but not before. Now, the way I look at it is simple. It's not always the man's fault. See, you got to look at situations. It's not about checking a woman. If this is a lady, she knows how to conduct herself and carry herself as such. It's not your job to check her. Now, here's the problem. It's not always the man's fault, as women like to believe, because television and all of this negative media have you believing all men are like bad and they need somebody to treat them like puppies. Some of them are very immature, so, but others are not, you know? Now, let's get into this because, like I said, some marriages go through runs and it's not always the man's fault. I know a man who's being blamed because, he cheated in the relationship and he's being mocked for the rest of the relationship. Anytime, like, there's an argument, he's in the doghouse forever. And I say it like this: if you forgive a man, don't say you forgive somebody and then hold it over their head forever every time you get mad at them. Either you forgive them or you don't. I ain't say you had to forget, but you either forgive them or you don't. Okay? Now, if you go to the top of the whole spectrum of dating and relationships, nobody ever knew why. All they knew was that he cheated. And right, all they knew is he cheated. And that's all the women needed to have him ostracized, look at him like he was a bad person. And they never even heard or the reason why this person cheated. They never looked at the reasons as to say, well, what you gonna say is her fault. He cheated. In a way, it was both their faults. When they got married, they had 3 kids back to back to back. Like each kid is like probably a 1 year apart. So they got 3 children back to back to back. They get married and they get a house. And now they got 3 little kids to deal with instantly. They have an instant family now. So now, while they're dealing with this instant family and they have all of these things going on in their lives, now things are starting to turn because you know, they work different, different shifts. His wife works, I believe, at night, and he worked in the daytime, so they would see each other in passing. So there's a lot of nights they just communicate via text, and he'll see her for like 10, 15, 20 minutes before she's getting ready to go to work, and then he got the kids for the night. And they kept that going for like 8 years straight. That they hardly seen each other for 8 years. He's like, for 8 years, I rarely seen my wife. We saw each other like maybe one day, and that was Sunday. And we'd be so exhausted from all the work, and we don't have any time to be romantic or anything like that. And a lot of the times, you know, the sex was basic. And that plays a key factor in it also, where it's both parties. It's not just when somebody cheats, everybody think it's always the one person. It's not always the man's fault, ladies. Sometimes you play a part in it too. And sometimes the man plays a part in a woman cheating. Something was missing. Now, right, she was married, she got 3 kids, she's not getting, dolled up for him. She's wearing t-shirts, jogging pants, hair's in a scrunchie, saying, "Well, like we can get it on for about 30 minutes on Sunday if you're free from like 5 to 6." That's not romantic. So next thing he runs into a girl who's like flirtatious and just a super freak. And she's into everything. And, he feels like he's young again. He's back in the game. So she's brought the excitement back into his life, spontaneous things and everything. So he's feeling alive. And now he's out, you know, feeling like this is a new life for me. I've made it. It got to the point where he almost left his wife for this new girl. It took a conversation from his dad so that he would realize what a terrible mistake he'll be making. Because the whole thing is this. And his father had to tell him something very vital. Father to son. He says, "Son, whatever you're doing, man, just stop. I don't care how good it is and how much fun you're having. You got kids, just stop. Because you're about to throw away a woman that still want to be with you after all of this. You're about to throw that all away for a woman that might be gone tomorrow." But that other woman, she was catering to him. She was all into him because she was more freaky. She knew how to just pleasure men. So, and just make them like lust for her, this other chick. So even though his wife is a nice woman, she's pretty much not like going out of her way to be super sexy. She's busy. She got 3 little kids to do. So she's like, look, like she don't really do all of this stuff that this girl was doing. So the girl was just a super freak. And he was just hooked. He was like, all right, I'm in. So when he cheated, and they just made him out to be the bad guy. Like, how dare you cheat on that sweet woman? It's like, he's like, look, I like her. She's cool. We have a good time. But over the past 8 years, 9 years being with somebody, it gets complacent. The spark is gone. And rather trying to fight to get that back, it was never really there. And that's why he was saying, like, I love her. Like, I don't want to get her to get hit by a bus. But I was so hooked into this girl. Like, we had amazing sex, me and this other girl. But I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But what about the other rooms? And do you want to pay child support? You're not gonna no. You trust me. You've had $3 to go and do anything. You think that woman gonna want to be with you, and you only got $3 to your name? Life moves pretty fast, and if you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. But that's what I'm talking about, people. Well, here's the thing. See, this is the difference between white women and black women. Let me tell you that when it comes to like marriages or relationships. A white woman ain't finna break up with her man. Black woman gonna cut your ass off. You're done. And it's gonna take, she might forgive you after you done wooed her back and all that. White girl ain't gonna do that. Because the white girl sees the picture a little different. You've humiliated her. She don't want this to get out of hand. She'll be more humiliated on you leaving her to go to the woman. That's more humiliating to her. That this girl's gonna win. So she's like, she wants my man. I'm not giving her my man. No, you're gonna stay in the house and you're gonna do this and we're gonna fix this. That's how it normally works. The man and with white women, the man has to leave the house in order for it to have, like, for it to be over. He got to really get out the house and go over to the other woman, and the wife still might go over there and get him and drag him home. Good morning. Shoot, it's good night. I'm about to go to bed. So it's finna check out. I got my silk pillow, mm, nice and relaxed, and nice and fluffed. So it's not always the man's fault. I need to stop that. It's both sides of the coin. There's intangibles, there's things that happen that both parties are responsible for. We'll be like, hey, I ain't even my fault they go out and cheat. They doing what they do. Mm-mm-mm. So anyway, the king is going to sleep and rest, and I'll deal with Charleston White when I wake up. Deuces. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life too. Welcome to HDTV. Jag Sports, Jose Rodriguez. I'm